are starting to get a little out of hand. We'd have to cross the asteroids to reach the ship safely. Hey, I'm glad we managed to find each other so soon after the crash. I'm thinking we could use these alien seeds to find a way up to our ship. Some plant seeds. Use the sprinkler to make them grow.
Lego Movie 2, the video game, part... I think this is part 4, but this is only world 3, and there's 10 or so. And I think there's a few... This is another long one. The next one's really short, and then it's pretty long again, and then somewhat long, really long, and then... Oh, decently long, because that's a lot of ending cutscenes, because it's the end of the game. So that does give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What? 8 levels? There's not even 10? I gotta go count those planets, I guess. I thought for sure there were 10, but that's even worse. Most LEGO games have 15, okay? I'm just putting that into perspective. Anyway, this game was provided graciously to me for free by Warner Brothers, so thank them for that. And this is a very cool looking level. I will give it that much. That's about all it's got, though. We're gonna be using the... scanner a little bit more often than we probably will ever again, and it's just to reveal a couple of those platforms that we're missing, and then we're going to do some of this platforming. And if these platforming sections weren't literal easy mode, meaning you just push the button and then it jumps you on the platform for you, I would actually call this a decent platformer, because this is cool. This stuff is... I love this stuff, and I love platformers, but it's completely... It's kind of eroded when the game does it for me. And every other LEGO game, of course, they had some sections that you would jump onto things like this and it would do it for you, but especially the early ones, you did most of the platforming and jumping and all of that yourself, and it was fine because you have unlimited lives. And that was pretty much the whole reason I bought the game when it came out, was it said LEGO Unlimited Lives Co-op. It's like, oh cool, I can play that with my brother, you know? They've seemed to have sort of forgotten that. This is going to be another one of the enemies that we'll be running into, so we've run into some pretty generic enemies already, and this is just another one that is a little bit more creative. We have to ground pound in front of him and then beat him up. And once that first one is done, we gotta do it with these 2 more. And again, it just continues to show how kiddified this game is. I don't really know why. Also, this guy got stuck, which is kind of amusing. I don't really know why every single enemy has to be so kiddified. Maybe that's just how the movie was, and again, if that is how the movie was, and that's all they had to work with, then I'm not blaming the developers of this game at all, but I will complain then about whoever made Lego Movie 2, where it seems like they were acting like kids are stupid, and while they might be functionally stupid, they aren't really that dumb. And you see this a lot in cartoons too, especially, this is gonna sound like back in the old days, right? Wrong generation, but I'm just saying with a lot of recent cartoons I've seen, I guess Teen Titans is the best example. It's almost like they're written for kids who they think are very, very dumb, and kids are not dumb. Well, they're not that dumb anyway. I mean, you watch the new Teen Titans and compare it to the old one, and it's just sad. It's like, why did this get approved? Oh, I'm hoping it's just a temporary thing. I'm hoping this game is just a fluke. I'm hoping it never happens again. But we're gonna get through it. If there's only 8 worlds, actually. I mean, how many videos do I even have on my editing here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 videos. I can handle that. So this is probably like a 3-hour long or even less game. Holy cow. I don't even know how much it costs. If it's a $40 game, that is just sad. That is a total... Bro. I don't know if I'm allowed to be trashing it this hard. I'm pretty sure I am. I think the government stepped in. Does anyone remember? See, I'm ranting about nonsense right now, but this was a couple of years ago. The main reason the FTC got involved with YouTube is because I think Microsoft was paying Machinima to say good things about the Xbox One, and they weren't disclosing that they were paid by Microsoft to say good things, and someone found out, or one of the creators leaked the contract, I think is what happened. Because Machinima had tons and tons of YouTubers underneath their kind of umbrella. And I think one of their creators leaked the contract out and said, hey guys, this isn't really right, and it wasn't, and the government got involved, and now if you are given any game for free, and I'm sure products too, you have to pretty much just say, yeah, I got it for free, and that's why I'm saying these things, or blah blah blah, stuff like that. You know, government gets involved, of course, when people don't play nice, and that's, in a way, Microsoft's fault. In a strange way, it is kind of Microsoft's fault that the government is more involved in content creation online. And it took the government a while. Like, it took those old politicians a pretty dang long time to kind of figure out what was going on in cyberspace here, but they seem to be figuring it out a little bit more. Anyway, that ranting could be a whole other video. It's just that I feel bad getting this for free and then trashing it so much because it's just not good. We need to collect 10 of those master bricks, and we get, I don't know how many in this world exactly we get for free from doing the quests. I'm going to say probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6, but either way, you'll just want to keep an eye on that mini-map and collect any of them that you see that are pretty easy to access. So I can kind of see there's a few more over to my right, and there's also a chest. These chests are very good for you to open. They have tons of studs, which are going to be useful if you want to spend more time in the store, which I probably won't be. And they also drop a lot of these relics that you can open up in the store, as we saw in the previous video. Now, there are actually going to be 3 downloadable content worlds for this game, and all 3 of them are going to be free. I'm going to be a little bit shocked if they actually release them. I don't know what the worlds are going to be about. I might make videos if I pay attention to the news and see when they come out. I don't know. But I'm going to be a little bit shocked if they actually release them. They didn't finish Lego The Hobbit. They released episode 1 and 2 because that's all the movies that were out at the time, and they said they'd make the 3rd one downloadable content, and then they never did. So again, I'll be a little bit surprised. They did make all the DLC for Lego DC Supervillains, and that was actually fun DLC. Those were some fun extra levels and heroes you got to play as. But again, that game's like a Lego masterpiece. So it's weird to me. How the heck you go from that high to this low? The only other company I've seen accomplish that is BioWare. And before BioWare, I think it was Alpha Dream, because they made Superstar Saga, which I really loved, and then they made Partners in Time, which I really hated. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. You don't have to agree with them, but either way, we are just going to be heading on through this level, talking to Spaceman, trying to collect more of the stuff that's just literally falling off of the world there. For some reason, a lot of things that drop on the floor are not immediately collectible. I don't really know why that is. And in that case, that thing just fell into space, never to be seen again. Yeah. Do not forget the bouncer. There may be some places that you can't really reach, and it isn't immediately obvious that you can get to them, but remember the bouncer exists. It will help you out. And I did say that the platforming in this game is ridiculously easy, and yet I still managed to fall off, and that does happen more than once throughout this walkthrough, so that is kind of extra embarrassing, but hey, that's just how it goes, I guess. I also think that's the only rope walk in the entire game. I'm trying to think, there's gotta be another one, but I'm trying to think of when there's another rope walk, but I remember that being memorable because I don't know, it was just a rope walk. For some reason I remembered that, and I don't think we end up getting another one. I don't know, I guess we'll find out. And here we actually get some real enemies, finally, and this is probably the darkest enemies we're going to be fighting, literally in looks, and also just kind of how menacing they seem to be, but they're just like any other enemy. Punch them 3 or 4 times, they die, and then we have to build a micromanager. And it's kind of strange too, because it's like as the game goes on, they sort of forget that they gave all these tools to us, and we don't use them nearly as often. Like, we're not going to be using the micromanager or the scanner that much, but we will be using things like the sprinkler and the bouncer all the time. We're also not going to be using the thumper hardly at all. I don't think that thing really shows up. So here we get to meet Buck, I think his name is, and next to him are a bunch of glowing bricks, which kind of... Oh, this is Rex. Where the heck did I get Buck from? I have no idea what I'm talking about. This is Rex, okay. So there's a bunch of glowing bricks there, and this is kind of a cool thing. I did like this about this game, and it's as I've said before, this was an ambitious game, but it just feels like they had a whole lot of kind of concept ideas. It almost feels like a tech demo. Like, they just threw in a bunch of stuff of, look what we can do in Lego games now, but that's it. Like, they didn't piece it together very well. Anyway, we got to get these guys, or this guy, we got to get Rex's, is what I'm trying to say there. Let me put my words together. We got to get Rex's dinosaurs, and I think that's got to be kind of an Easter egg to, what is that movie called? Jurassic World, right? Because Chris Pratt voices Emmett, and Chris Pratt plays a guy who controls the dinosaurs, the velociraptors, and yeah, you know what I mean. So I think that's got to be what this is for, and that's also kind of a spoiler if I think about it. But who really cares at this point? So use the sprinkler to get on up here. We can find the second dinosaur. You can double jump with every single person you'll be playing. You get kind of a little bit of a boost there, so that's how I got up to that. And then we'll want to build this sprinkler. Now, of course, keep in mind as you're building these things, they do cost Lego bricks. And that's really why if you see them laying around on the ground, kind of like how you collect studs, you just want to go around, pick up the brick, and then off you go. That way you should never run out of them ever again, but in case you do, just keep in mind you can destroy pretty much anything around you to get more. Then we get to build Rex's homing device, and this is where it's a little bit confusing to access, especially based on the tutorial of the previous world, and this little tutorial thing here doesn't really help that much. So you're going to see me scrolling here kind of a little bit confused, but then I figured out pretty quickly. I probably should have cut this part out, but I'm looking through all our tools, looking for his homing device, and I'm not seeing it. And then I'm looking through the other tools, looking for the advanced builder page, not seeing it either. So if we go back to the actual builder page itself, there will be an option here to select objects. And let's see if I can get that done here. I really should have cut this out. Sorry about this. But anyway, I'll open that up and then head over here to next object library, and we'll open that up and then go to quest objects, and there they are. So that's going to be where all of our quest objects are going to be located once we need them in future levels, and we are going to be using that pretty often, I guess. We'll be collecting quite a few things, and that's also the menu where you can access all of the scanned Lego objects that you might be picking up with the scanner if you're using that. I don't use it too often because I'm just trying to get through the levels at this point, but if you want to do that, then go right ahead. Then we'll want to pick up this thing that looks kind of like a mini kit, which, by the way, I don't think there are mini kits in this game. I mean, it reminds me of Trine 3, and that's not a good comparison because Trine 3 took everything that was good about Trine 1 and 2, threw it in the dumpster, and then gave us a game that nearly bankrupted the company that made it. I don't think that last part's going to happen here with Traveler's Tales, but I just don't understand this need for reimagining. The reason I love Lego games is because they're pretty reliable. Okay, they're not the best games ever made, but they're really fun. I know what's going to be inside of them. I know they're going to make me laugh, and this did none of those things. It did none of those things. It does kind of make me sad. Oh man, so we get these super gauntlets or super fists, something like that. Super fists, some sort of wording. But anyway, they get to blow up all of these shiny, glowing walls that we see, and you're just going to be using them from now until the end of the game pretty much. So they do a pretty good job of making sure that you do use these. So we'll want to clear up this spaceship, and this is what we're going to be attempting to use to get off of the planet. And once we clear that up, we can look around for more of these purple bricks or blue or whatever those master builder bricks are. If you don't see one on the mini-map right away, just turn around and go somewhere else. You'll be able to find more later for sure. And then we can come and talk to this other velociraptor. But he does not want us to be wild style. He wants us to be Rex. So we have to step aside, push Y, and then turn into Rex. So this dinosaur is going to tell us to do what we already did, which was clear the ship, and then it's going to tell us to get some crystals to power it up. And of course give us another master builder brick, so we only need 3 more for this level, and as I've said before, you're going to need all 10 of them to even continue on. I hate when, again, exactly like Trine 3, they gate the next level behind collectibles. I don't know, why would you do that? Like, it's such a stupid thing to do. Okay, so we're gonna come talk to the spaceman, and we have to fight him. So we get to fight a couple more of these dark space enemies, just 3 of them, and this is where if we push and hold X every now and then we can do some kind of super move like that, and that should clear all of them out right away. And it really makes combat completely trivial and utterly pointless, but hey, who cares, right? Then we get to play as him if we want to later on, and that's it for that little space guy. Then we have to run on over to the other location there, collect all the other bricks that are laying around if you want to, and if we talk to this guy who I called Hal when I first played this game, but he is not Hal. Oh, I don't know what his name is, but he's from that movie with I Can't Let You Do That, right? I'm pretty sure he's that guy. Maybe he is Hal. Whatever. We have to turn into the spaceman to get access to get to the other side of this platform. Now, when we're over here, there's going to be an elevator all the way down at the bottom, and that terminal that we see will allow us to pull it on up, and you just have to push the button and then wait, because it does take a little bit of time for that platform to get up here, so don't think that it's glitched or anything, it's just that slow. And pretty much some of the only actual buttons we're going to be seeing are on platforms. You know, other LEGO games have creative things with buttons like Simon Says and push it in this order and stuff like that. Not with this game. They don't have any of those fun puzzles. They don't really have any of the fun stuff that made LEGO games fun. Okay, so we're going to collect that brick, and that should be the last one that you have to collect for this level. The other one, or ones that you might need, should be attainable just by playing the quests here. So there's a whole lot of walls that we can clear, and there's another brick, I think, back here that I'm going to get just cuz. I mean, I'm just kind of showing them off. Maybe you missed one and you just want to see where you can get more, but like I said, just pay attention to that mini-map. I don't think I show it off in any of the videos, but if you push the back button on the Xbox controller, it's probably... What do they call that now?
Operation has been put on hold.
It's not back anymore, is it? Or select? It's, I don't know. On the Xbox, it's got like a square inside of a square. On the PlayStation, I think it's called options or share. I don't know why they renamed those buttons. I know that they did the menus. They made it the hamburger menu because that's what all the phones were doing. But I don't know why they had to rename select. I think that was fine as it was, or return or back or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, where the back button is on your controller, as you see that if you push that, it'll expand the mini-map and give you a little bit better view of it. Then we're going to get into this train, and this should take us on up here. I think we have the power crystals now, or this will be how we get them. I don't really remember. Oh, I'm trying to erase this game from my memory. And then we can get that ship powered up and get off of this dang rock of a planet. Although this is taking a little while because it's just very, very slow. Oh, we don't have the crystals quite yet. That's what we're almost doing. That's right.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay. So this spaceman's going to tell us about a shiny crystal that he wants to hold in his hands. Now, those guys do have, for the most part, full voice acting. That is good. It's just unfortunate that that's pretty much the only talking that goes on in the game. And I am surprised at how much I liked that kind of talking. And it kind of reminded me to the Mass Effect series, because if you play Mass Effect 1, no one says anything unless it's a major story event going on. But in Mass Effect 2, the game is paced and designed in a way where your characters are always talking to each other and mentioning stuff, and there's just so much more dialogue going on. It makes it feel so much more alive. And again, it astounds me that BioWare is capable of creating something as bad as Anthem, and yet as good as Mass Effect 2. These developers, I don't know if it's just because talent comes and goes, or if it's just part of the creative process where some stuff is really good and some stuff really is not. I don't know which. Anyway, when we get that crystal, we can run on up that disintegrating platform, and here's the ship we're going to be using. But if we wait a little bit of a second, and you can probably predict what's going to happen next, a gigantic meteor is going to fall from the sky and ruin our plans. Of course, we have to switch back into Rex now because he doesn't like spacemen. And once we talk to him and say, yay, we have the parts that we need, there's the meteor that's going to just kind of make our job a little bit harder. So now we have to climb on up the platform that we saw behind this here dinosaur. At least I think it's that platform. And we're also going to want to pull out the scanner because we're going to have to scan a couple of them to get across. And as I said before, I think this game would be, if it was a little bit harder, it'd be a really cool platformer. And I don't really know why someone isn't out there making, like, Nintendo's the only one in existence right now making platformers besides some indie games. And even those, the good ones, are far and few between. So I don't know, I just feel like this would be kind of fun. This is kind of cool, very cool graphics, cool setting, creative use of the tools. It's just too easy, and it's a Lego game, so it's not like I'm trashing that or anything. I just am sad that the only thing that I can find redeeming about this game is something that's not meant to be, and that seems to happen a lot, actually. Anyway, once we get to the end of this part, we're going to throw all of our master bricks into the big portal opener and head on to the next world, which is very short. At least, maybe it is. I'll have to double check that. I think it's pretty short, and that'll be it for this video.
Huh.